Great. It's being recorded. Good. That's what I was hoping. We've had Serge on before, but Serge and I met not too long ago, and he's like, "Hey, Russell, I really want to bring as much value as I can to your team, and I want to give away everything I have, all my investor tools, all my profit calculators, everything that I have, so that folks that are real estate agents, if they want to, can add a flip and fixed feature to their real estate business, or if they just want to make sure a deal is good for their investor, or if they want to bring me deals, or whatever they want to do, I want to empower them and just give. I want to give everything that I have." And I said, "Man, that would be outstanding." So I think this is going to be the most watched recording that we've had in a long time. And I'm excited to see what Serge has to share with us. So if you don't know Serge, he does 100+ flips a year. I would call him the #1 flipper in all of Northern California. He does an outstanding job. He's a high integrity guy. If you've never brought him a deal, he's got a 3X program. I don't even know if we're going to touch on that today, because he's all about giving away all of his secrets. So with that, I'm going to hand it over to Serge. Serge, take it away and teach us what we need to know.
Russell, appreciate it. Guys, really appreciate it. It's an honor and a privilege for me to be on this call. I know we have some heavy hitters here, and I don't want to waste your guys' time, because I know we're all busy doing life and making money, and that's what I want to hear. Yeah, like Russell said, man, it's just an honor for me to try to add some value to you guys, because I think with what the market's going to be doing, investors are going to be able to add value to your portfolio. I remember starting off in 2010. And as a young buck, I'm not that old right now, but when I was definitely still in diapers in real estate, the only name I saw was Tom Daves, because it seemed like he had all the REO listings. And in 2010, if anyone was in the industry, the only people that were selling were banks, which it seems like Tom represented half of them. And the only people that were buying were investment companies. And I worked with a large investment company at that time. I also did some deals with Blackstone. So we were buying at that time 30 to 60 deals a month. That wasn't my group. It wasn't my company. I was just overseeing it. And then 4 years later, I started my own company. And of course, with a more traditional real estate approach, you don't get those numbers anymore. But we still do. About close to. We try to go for about 10 a month, all over Northern California. So, guys, I just wanted to add some value to this. To your guys' portfolio, to your book of business, and really just make you aware. So I'm gonna share my screen. I have a slideshow presentation I kind of wanted to put in front of you guys, and really just go from there, because I want to talk a little bit about the iBuyer, programs that people are doing out there, and then just really direct to investor. And actually, I'm also going to talk about the off markets, and really just shed some light on the off markets, because most of the deals we do are off market with agents. We do it through agents, through brokerages, of course, escrow, title, all of that. But a lot of people don't do it through agents, and I want to kind of show you how much people don't, because I am well connected in the off market world with wholesalers and everything else that has to do with it. And I just kind of want to shed some light on what's going on in that industry. So let's start. So 3X, Russell mentioned it a little bit. I think it's the best program out there for agents with investors. So what we do is, if you bring us a off-market deal before it hits the MLS, of course, we let you represent us on the buy side. We'll give you the listing on the back end after it's fully remodeled, professional picture, staged. We do all of that. You literally hit the submit button on the MLS, and we go live. And then we give you a bonus listing as well. So I know we were just talking about Incline Village. We just did a house in South Lake Tahoe as well. Same thing. We gave away that listing. Just to year to date, we've paid out over $650,000 in commissions just to our agents alone year to date. And I think we're going to be closing around 900,000 at the end of the year in commissions paid out. So I'm big about agent relationships. That's what our business is based on. And that's how, to be honest, that's how we make our money. And this is how our business model works. I am an agent myself. I don't do traditional real estate. I realized that's not my gig. I sucked at it. My first year in business, I only made like $5,000 in commissions. After that, I realized, I took Tom's approach, find your message, find your customers, and then repeat it over and over again. So I've been listening. I've been listening to you, Tom. So I want to talk about the importance of professionalism in the flip game, in the off-market game. And I think we all understand right now with technology, certain things are changing where a lot of buyers and sellers are trying to work together without an agent. And especially in the flip and investment game, that's definitely the case. And we get a bad name. A lot of wholesalers have a bad name because we understand. I don't know if you guys have seen these contracts. I would say a lot of them are like chicken scratch. They're written on 2-page forms that are a template, very one-sided towards the wholesaler, where they're not even putting an EMD in. Close dates are very vague, 30 to 45 days. Right to assign it, right to refuse, all of this stuff. And so I think we all know wholesaling is a bad name for most people. But if we can bring some integrity with agents to it, and not wholesaling, but really more off-market deals, I think that's the way we got to go. So I want to go into some state of the market right now. Of course, I think in the last 5 to 10 years, technology has made it very easy for buyers and sellers to negotiate deals without trying to use an agent. We know that with Zillow, iBuyer, and the bigger boys out there, Open Door, Sunday, all of these are hedge fund companies, backed by the stock market, that come in and they spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on marketing. I know most of these guys as CEOs. I met with them because we tried to work with them in the past, and we just realized it doesn't really work too well. But they spend lots of money on marketing, and their approach is directly to seller. So the way they do it, and if you guys don't know, is they'll lock up a deal and then they'll throw it on their platform, their own platform, where they have hundreds of investor buyers that are there. And so they try to sell it off to the highest bidder. Of course, most of them you don't get to walk; you just see pictures, things like that. And so I found out about 60-70% of them, those deals end up falling through, which of course they fall through at the end. As we know, most deals that hurt the most fall through at the end. And so for the seller, I think it's a huge negative, because the seller, as we know, they already have that money counted, they already have that money spent. And so when that happens, of course, that leaves a sour taste in their mouth for investment deals and things like that. Why I want to bring this up, most of us, when we do traditional real estate, we don't ever think about the investment game too much. We're like, yeah, I'll work with an investor here and there, a rental portfolio, things like that. And I really want to bring up how big the investment game is right now. And it's like, when you're looking for a new car, say if you're shopping for Tesla Cybertruck, when you're aware of it, you start seeing it everywhere on the road. To me, it looks like a tin can, but for some of them, it's once you wrap it, it looks nice. But my kids love it. I just kind of laugh at it. But once you're aware of it, you see it everywhere. And that's just if you're going shopping for a car or for a new Mac or anything, you start noticing it. And today, I just want to bring some awareness to the investment game, because a lot of us were so focused on the traditional real estate buyer, and that's fine. That's our book of business. But if you can add another book of business that's a repeat customer for you, why would you not, right? Why would you not add another book of business? And especially in a time of right now where I know the market's going to be softening. We see supply and demand starting to change. We see what inventory is doing. We see prices are dropping. I think I checked the MLS yesterday. I think in the 13 counties in the Northern California region, so based out of Sacramento, we had about 400 price drops. And that's happening almost on a daily. So we understand where we're going to. Seasonally, we know. And then I think economically, we understand affordability is at its worst time. And once the market starts softening, this is when investors want to come in, because they want to put their money somewhere. They're, I think, scared of the stock market. I think they're scared on the strength of the dollar. And so the greatest commodity in the world is real estate. And so they're going to want to know how to do that. And so I want to talk about that right now. According to data recently published in 2022, they say that investors buy about 22% of the inventory in the United States. And I would say in the Sacramento market, so this is 22% of the data. That investors buy 22% of the homes. About 20% of those are off market. If I know the Sacramento region pretty good, so if any of you follow Sacramento, we get about 1,000 to 1,200 sales in Sacramento County, Placer, all that kind of 1 hour radius of Sacramento. So we have about 1,000 sales a month, 1,200. There's about 200 to 300 off-market deals done every month in Sacramento County. About 25%. They never hit the market. Open Door snatches them up. Sunday snatches them up. And then a whole bunch of investors try to snatch them up. They never hit the market. And so that's a huge, as you guys can imagine, 20, 30% never hit the market and are done off market. So that's huge. I know in Sacramento alone, and I'm trying to be conservative with my numbers, this is me just talking to all my investor friends and the people that I know with institutional buyers. There's probably between 75 to 150 on a conservative level homes purchased off market in Sacramento every month. So can you imagine the criteria? Can you imagine the commissions that should be made to agents that are not being made? And we know there's platforms like Investor Lift, things like that, where there's thousands and thousands of investors out there looking for deals and looking for decent deals. They're not on the MLS. They kind of have been fond. They're not fond of the MLS. They think the process is too long. They don't want to get into bidding wars, things like that. And so they're not on the MLS. First and foremost, any investor that right now is thriving in the region or in the industry, they only do off markets. 90% of my business is off markets. I work with only agents, but most of them try to do it themselves. So as we can see, there's a huge trend. And I think that trend will continue going up as the economy is going down, as real estate's getting a little bit more shakier, as more homes are being put on the market, because they're going to be providing a solution to sellers like, hey, I'm buying your house, 10-day close, all of that. I have a deal right now we're working on. They put it on for $699. Actually, off market wise, I offer them $650. They put it on the market for $699. It's been sitting for 1 month. It's a fixer. It's a nice pocket area. And they came back. They're like, we'll take $650. I said, sorry, that was 2 months ago. I'm at $600 now. Do you want it? And it looks like they're going to take it. And so we're starting to see that trend happen again. And what we had in the last time the market crashed, I'm hoping we don't crash. I don't believe we're going to crash, but I do think we're going to have a 20% correction. So the greatest demand for investing deals ever that we have, and I've kind of gone over it, institutionalized people like Blackstone. I'm hearing rumblings. They're looking to enter back in rental portfolios, things like this, where people will be buying, and they're going to use agents who know what they're talking about. They're going to use agents who can help them find the deal, source the deal, underwrite the deal. And we're going to talk about that a little bit later today, or actually right now. So I want to go over a few steps of how to underwrite a deal. First and foremost, I think as an agent, we have to open our eyes. If you've only been doing traditional real estate and you're like, hey, I've done this for the last 10 years, 20 years, whatever, I don't do anything else. I want this, at least if I can open your eyes to the amount of commissions and the amount of deals that are out there to work with investors. Here's the beauty about investors. They don't care what color the house is. They don't care what the tree looks like. It's just a numbers game for them. They're not going to go and walk 20 homes. I'm not going to go walk 20 homes. I'm going to underwrite the deal in about 30 minutes, or my team's going to underwrite the deal. And it's just a numbers game. There's no emotions to it. There's no feelings to this home. There's no, well, what is this going to look like? I know what my end picture is going to be. I know what my numbers are going to be. And when I have an agent that I can work with, it makes everyone's life easier. I'm going to tell them, hey, send me 3 or 4 comps. I want pendings. I want recently solds. And we're going to go over that. Here's the numbers. And I just need to know 3 big ticket items. I need to know is the roof good? Is the HVAC good? And then the dual pane windows. I call those are big ticket items that every investor needs to know. They're going to ask for that first and foremost, because a roof costs between $15,000 and $20,000. Windows cost between $7,000 and $10,000. A new HVAC system costs $10,000. So those 3 items right there add up to $30,000-$40,000. The rest is a cosmetic remodel. We know our cosmetic numbers, and I'll share some with you guys today. That way you guys can kind of know that. So first and foremost, open your eyes to know, hey, there's a huge possibility right now. If my traditional buyers are going away, I can have an investor, and I always say I want to be your investor for life, where we're doing multiple deals. I have some agents, they don't do as much traditional. All they do is they just send me deals, and they get the 3x, and they're making six figures. They're making between 150 and 200,000 a year, and they're like, I don't want to work with traditional anymore. And I'm not saying that's for everyone, but that's just their niche. That's all they do, and they're happy with it. And like, I don't have to do showings, I don't have to do open houses, nothing like that. It's just a numbers game, and it is a numbers game. So assessing, I want to go assessing the improvement cost. Uh, Best way to assess, and I kind of went over it. First, every investor is going to need to know those big ticket items. Roof, I put 15 grand on here. Windows 8, HVAC 10,000. For cosmetic improvements, which technically requires, when we talk about cosmetic, we're talking about kitchen remodel, bathroom remodels, flooring, doors, baseboards, casing, painting inside, outside, things like that. Where you want to truly, you don't want to do lipstick on a pig. When people think of flip, the word F, the word F in real estate's a bad word, and that's associated with flipping. I tell them I don't flip a house. I fully renovate it. We pull permits. We do it the legit way. And the investors that are out there right now, most of them do it the legit way. A lot of those that hodgepodge or cut corners, they're not around. They're not around. Either they got sued, or sooner or later, a few home inspectors got to them, and when your request for repairs is $40,000, there's no more margin in that. So most investors that you're going to be dealing with today know what they're doing because they've survived. What's interesting is that when times are good in the market, it's the hardest time for investors, because us as an investor, the most value we provide is when there's pain in the market. When there's no pain and everyone wants $500,000 to $1 million for their home, I don't have much of it. That's the hardest time for me. I'll be honest with you. Right now, as a company, we've set ourselves up with a lot to be very liquid and to be able to buy a whole bunch of properties, because I understand where we're at right now. And so for us, actually, the downturns are better. And I can even talk about how I assess the downturn and how we go about it. And again, it's just a numbers game. But for most investors, the downturn are better because there's now fear in the market and there's hurt in the market. And when a cash offer is presented with the 10-day close, that now looms a lot better than a 30-day close, and you don't know, what kind of problems we can have with financing, job losses, things like that. So, step 3, understanding resale. I realized a lot of agents do not understand resale so well, or as well as they should. So when I ask for comps, they're pulling a mile, 2 miles out. They're pulling a year back, trying to justify their resale, because that's what I'll ask. I'll say, hey, what do you think I can get this for? I'm going to ask for those big ticket items, like how's the roof, how's the windows, how's the HVAC unit, and then I'm going to ask for resale. And I tell them, hey, I need about $150,000 spread with the way, after paying out commissions and escrow title and fees and rehabs and everything like that. And so here's a rule of thumb. I actually originally, when I went in 2008, I actually studied to become an appraiser. I went and did all my courses. I passed my test. And then I realized I needed to do, I think it was 2,000 hours of volunteer work. And I calculated and I said, I need to make money now. I'm not going to be doing 2,000 hours of volunteer work. But it helped me learn how to underwrite and helped me actually learn how an appraisal report works. I can look at an appraisal report and rebuff it if I need to, correct it, things like that. But standard guidelines, most appraisers are going to pull half a mile radius. They're going to pull half a mile radius. That's just their first standard. If they cannot find a home within that half a mile radius, they'll go quarter, 3/4, and then they'll go a mile. Clearly, in Sacramento, there's some neighborhoods. I'm kind of thinking of the Stockton Boulevard area. We have homes on one side of the street that sell for $800,000, and then we have homes in Oak Park that sell for $300,000. So clearly, that half a mile radius doesn't apply for every neighborhood. You got to make sure you're not jumping natural boundaries and zip codes and school districts and things like that. But that's a good starting point. Square footage of the home, 20% in each direction. So that's what appraisers will start with. So for instance, if a home is 1,000 square feet, they're going to go to about 1,200 square feet on the high end, and then they're going to go 800 square feet on the low end. So that'll be, I'm using in this example, a 1,200 square foot home will go 1,000 square feet on the low end, 1,400 square feet. Bedroom bath count. I always tell you got to compare apples to apples. You cannot compare a 3-1 to a 3-2. It's a different buyer pool. It's a different demographic. It's different. I realize in most markets, a second bathroom, a 3-2 is worth about 30 to 50 grand more than a 3-1. So if someone's like, oh, it's a $5,000 adjustment. It's not, it's more. So you got to compare similar bedroom and bath counts to one another. And then your build should be within about 15 to 20 years of each other, because we know, the homes in the 60s and 70s, more lap siding, T111, wood siding in the 80s, 90s, stucco became more of a fad, tile roof, things like this. So you got to keep it. And then the biggest thing is what we tell them is after repair condition. So the good thing is most homes that sell, we sell in the top 1 or 2 comps in the area. We're usually the top comp. Because we do try to do a good job. We do a 1-year warranty on our home, clear past, all of that good stuff. And so we tell them, hey, don't comp with the average. If there's homes that are selling for 500, and then there's homes selling for 475, and then there's homes selling for 450, my comps are going to be 500 because I'm going to have a finished, fully renovated product, updated electrical, updated plumbing, all of that good stuff. Because if you're changing the kitchen, if you're doing a kitchen remodel, you got to update your electrical. You usually got to run a couple more lines because a standard kitchen right now needs 5 to 7 dedicated lines. Most of the homes in the 60s and 50s and 70s had 1 or 2 dedicated lines. And then, of course, negotiating a deal. So most investors, they're going to have fast inspection times or contingency removed. I think if you can provide them enough pictures of the electrical panel, if you can provide them pictures of the living room and just about 20 to 30 pictures, we could come in, all contingencies removed, larger EMDs, and then of course about 7 to 10 day closes. Here's the pro forma. So this is right here, the meat and potatoes of what we do. And like we say, everything is a numbers game. I'm going to show you a pro forma that most investors themselves don't know how to use. And if you guys want this, I can actually email you a simpler version. I can even email you this more sophisticated one. But this is how we underwrite a deal. And if you see the the lines that are highlighted in green, those are the variable lines. Those are the lines we want to fill in. So of course, street address, square footage. And why we want you to fill in the square footage is because we know what our repair number is for a cosmetic square footage remodel. So on here, we're running it at $50 a square foot. So for 1,000 square foot to do a cosmetic remodel, kitchen, bathrooms, the works, flooring, doors, all of that, painting inside out, making it look top notch, it's going to cost us about $50,000. Now, our prices are a little bit more aggressive than most investors. Like Russell said, we do a lot. So we have national account with Home Depot. We have our own warehouse. We have our own in-house crews. So we're not subbing out much. Everything's in-house. So we really get to squeeze every dime out of most. But most investors, they're going to squeeze that anyways. What we're noticing is a lot of contractors are starting to call me we just heard Anchor Tiny Homes, big company out of Sacramento. I think it was a $100 million company out of Sacramento. They just went bankrupt. I just spoke with one of the higher ups on another company. I'm an advisor on another company. They're telling me they're going to be going bankrupt in about a month. A lot of construction companies right now, they've been having low margins the last year. Their sales are through the roof, but their margins have been low because of inflation. And with this shift in the downturn, a lot of people are going to be hurting in construction. I know a lot of contractors right now, they're not getting paid. And so we're adjusting. But what I'm starting to see is these contractors who know how to do the work, they're saying, hey, can you just help me go find a deal and I'll go do it because I need to make money. So now they're going to go make money as a contractor because out of that, say a budget goes up to $100,000, 50% of that budget is about materials. So they're spending $50,000 on materials and they're going to have $50,000 for labor. It's about 50-50 set aside. And so they're going to say, hey, I'm going to go and make $50,000 as a contractor, not working for any third-party company, because right now the industry is starting to shake, especially in construction, where these net 30s, where they haven't been paid for 30 days. And they're starting to call me. Every other day I have a contractor calling me looking for work. And so if you guys need any subs, let me know. I'd love to, they're all licensed, bonded, legitimate, looking for work. Guys that, used to work for, home builders and things like that, where it's slowing down. And so they're looking how to kind of take control of their future. And so I'm telling them, hey, I can, maybe partner with you or something like that, because I'm not looking to grow my construction division. We've actually scaled down. I'm realizing, my bread and butter is to find the good deals and underwrite them, and then work with, we do it in-house, but if I have to work with a junior partner or something, I'll do that. So going back to it, I'll look at a resale price. So in this example, in this performance, we're showing a resale price of 400,000. And then if you scroll or if you look 2 items down, we have a projected purchase price of 210. And say this was just a full fixture, roof, windows, HVAC, foundation work. An agent can look and say, hey, this is a great deal. You're buying it at 210. You're selling it for 400,000. You're gonna make $200,000. Tom knows the difference. Russell knows the difference. Any of you who have ever done a flip, you know the difference. That's not the case. That's not the case. And so most of these guys, they get hard money. So if I ran this as a scenario, if someone's getting hard money at 9.5% interest, this is what this would look like. And I'll just go over it really quick. Request for repairs, we projected 500. A pest clearance, 1,200. You have property taxes. You have supplemental tax. You have fire insurance. You have buy-side escrow, because most of the time as an investor, you're paying all the escrow fees. You have, temporary utilities, water, gas, electricity. You have your financing costs. So at a 4-month turn rate, so if someone can turn this in 4 months, they're going to pay about $9,000 in finance. You have staging. I put $1,000 for staging. Put another $900 for just maintenance fees, landscaping, things like that, just to keep the property upkept. You have lender processing fees. So if someone's pulling hard money, they're going to pay 1 to 2%. Right now, it's between 1 and 2% in finance fees. So you're going to have 1% in finance fee, and then you're going to have about $1,000 in processing fees. And I'm going to scroll down for you guys right now. Then you go into commissions, and say you're doing 2% on the back end or 2.5%, and then you got 2.5% to the buyer's agent. You got escrow on the back end. So this deal with a $190,000 spread, if it costs them $100,000 to do, they're going to make 40 grand. There's not much meat on the bones. Now, to be honest, a lot of investors right now will take that deal because they're looking for work, and especially contract investors, where if you know contractors and they're starting to hurt, you can say, hey, what if I help you invest? I can get you hard money. With hard money, you need 50 grand out of pocket, 50, 60,000. And if you guys need some connections, have hard money guys for days. Kiave is a big one out there. I would say if you're looking for a great hard money guy, Kiave on a national platform is great. If you need their number and I have a rep that we know there, let me know. We can set you guys up, and they're really phenomenal. They'll do very aggressive pricing. And so for 50, 60 grand, someone can flip their first house. And I would recommend for a contractor to do it. I don't think you want to set up your friends or buyers that have never done remodel, have never done construction. I tell them, if you don't have any business doing construction, you should not do it. Because if you're just banking on finding a construction company to do it, we know that $100,000 number will balloon to 150, and they'll just lose money. So this is what a performer looks like. If you could see on the right, we have a rehab questionnaire that we have all our agents ask, or we ask them is, hey, how old is the roof? How old is the HVAC unit? Are the windows single pane? Is there any foundation? And there's a kind of a general number of what all those things would cost. And they literally just mark yes or no. And that helps them underwrite a deal. And understand, hey, at least some numbers for when they're talking with investors. So at the end of this, I can post this, or I could even do more of a simpler version where you guys just input some numbers and it'll spit out some things for you. And so I want to kind of leave some room for some questions and answers. I think that's it from my part right now. But yeah, guys, it's if you haven't done much with investors, I want this to be an eye-opening day for you guys, where it's like, hey, there's opportunity. And especially in a downturn market, that's when the most opportunity happens. That is when the most opportunity, because investors get to solve the problem, which is pain. When there's pain, you need cash. And they get to solve that problem.
Well, this is awesome. Thank you so much, Sergey. I just listened to a podcast this morning that was just released yesterday from Chris Cohn and Henry Einstein. They are some of the largest investors in the nation, and they invest in single family, they invest in multifamily, commercial. And they were saying right now and over the next 6 months, single family is the biggest space for investing and the biggest opportunity. That's the future of real estate. So we're all in the right place at the right time. This is good stuff here. Thanks.
Of course.
What about, will you speak to your 3X program? Because I'm not sure I know you explained that last time you were on, but that was a while ago. We've got some new folks. And I love the cooperation that you're doing with the agents and what's available to them. So I just want to make sure everyone understands that opportunity that you're offering.
Yeah, of course. So, you know, we know in our offices, or even if it's not your listing, but if it's your listing, or you're going to a seller's appointment, you're going to a seller's appointment, and you see the home needs work. Now, if the home does not need work, the way to go is the traditional way: put it on the market, list it, and market it well, and do your job as an agent. Now, if you see that the home needs work, and you know, hey, this probably needs an investor. This probably needs an investor, and there's things going on. They need to do a clean out. They need cash to move out. Things like this. This is where the cash investor off market makes a lot of sense. And here's why I say that. We can, a lot of times we even say we can have them have their money before they move out. So I'll go over the program, and then I'll kind of go over what the benefits are selling off market. So program is, if you bring us one off market fixer, we let you represent us as the buyer's agent. So you're gonna represent us as well as the buyer. If you're representing the seller, great. If you're not even representing the seller, you're representing us. Once we're done fixing that house, and it usually takes about 1 to 2 months. Once we're done fixing that house, we're gonna list it with you. We're gonna list it with you on the back end, and we have it staged. We have professional pictures taken, and you're the agent there. And just as a bonus, because we say relationships mean everything to us. We have this theme that says a good name's better than riches and gold, and that's what we go by. So because we say relationships mean everything to us, we'll give you one more of our listings that belongs to us in-house. We do have a large network of wholesalers and people that bring us deals, and we have our own marketing and website and all that good stuff. So we'll give one of my listings away. So it's another fully remodeled home that we'll give away to that agent, just because we understand for us, this is our lifeblood, is to do homes. And so even though I'm an agent myself, I still do listings. The ones I can't give away, I do myself. Russell will tell you, I think I capped out pretty fast, and I'm hoping to cap out again this year. Is that so I still do quite a bit of listings myself, because we have that much inventory to give away. But I'm more than happy to give that away. So pretty much the basic is you get 3 commissions. You get a buy side, you represent us, and we're going to be your client. You get a listing, and then you get another listing. And the beauty for us is that we don't ever stop buying. If the deal makes sense, we'll buy it. We'll buy homes for $100,000, and we go all the way up to about 1.2 million.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah.
And it's not pie in the sky, Don. There's a number of guys on my team. Obviously, I'm a little closer connected to Serge than most, but there's a number of guys on my team that have done multiple deals with Serge and his team.
Love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It sounds like great opportunity, particularly when the listing has a lot of deferred maintenance, and the seller's just not in a position to financially prepare it for market. It seems like a really great solution.
And Don, I think, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, I want to add a little bit of value for you guys. Right now, a lot of investors might be a little scared to enter the market. And here's how I talk to them. And here's just kind of some, very top secret stuff that I'm going to share with you guys. It's just numbers. Right now, let's say we calculate worst case scenario. Say we have a 20% correction over 2 years, 20% correction, which is a very aggressive correction. I think we all would say. So year over year, we have about a 10% correction, because we understand it doesn't happen in 1 month. It doesn't happen in 1 quarter. Even 2008, it was a 2007, 8, and 9, and 10 collapse. It wasn't one season, 1 year that everything collapsed. Now, the top might have fell off in 2007 or end of 2007, but it was correcting for the next 3 years. So we're not going to have a 30% or 20% dramatic move in the market in 1 month. If that happens, I think the whole world's in trouble. And so what I tell people to, or me as an investor, here's how I look at it. If we're saying it's going to be a 10% year over year correction, which is still pretty extreme, it's a 1% correction every month. So if a home is worth today $500,000, next month is going to be worth $495. In 2 months, it's going to be worth $490. In 3 months, it's going to be worth $485. So as I'm buying these deals, I'm not underwriting it at $500,000 right now. I'm underwriting it. Hey, I'm going to be putting this home on in 3 months. I need to underwrite it at $485 because that's what the market could be doing. And so just to even have that safety number, you can show that to all your investors. You pull up your local market and say, hey, here's what I'm going to tell you. And they're saying, wow, the market's falling. You're like, yeah, you're right. It is falling. That's where there's opportunity right now, because there's fear. There might be a little bit of panic in the market. And I think once the elections are over and the news starts coming out of that, I think it's a lot worse than what the news is portraying. I think we're going to see that fear and panic. But it's going to be an opportunity for certain people like investors to really get good deals, because right now rental portfolios do not work at the high prices. They need to come down. And so if you can explain that method to them, say, hey, we're going to underwrite it and what it's going to be worth in 3-4 months, even with an aggressive depreciation. And so at the end of the day, it's all a number game.
Hey, Sergei, if you worked outside of California, which I don't think you do, but guessing you probably have relationships with other investors. She's out of Colorado, Denver metro area. Do you know anybody out there that would be open to an approach like yours?
Any investors out there or any contractors? I didn't hear the full question.
Investors. So Treva in the chat had asked if you worked outside of California because she's in Colorado. I think the 3X program makes tons of sense. I think our agents could, if they're not in California in your market, they could probably educate investors to follow your system. But
yeah, they should. They really should. They really should. I don't have anyone in Colorado right now. We actually do Hawaii as well. So we do California and Hawaii right now. But I do have a lot of people on the East Coast that I am familiar with. So if there's any people in Florida, South Carolina, North Carolina, I do have investors there, and I have contractors there that are would love to, I think, tie in with some quality agents.
Great, thank you.
Hey, by the way, Don, when I do my listing appointments, I always ask, and you would be amazed at how many people, probably like 1 out of 6 or 1 out of 7. I offer, a traditional listing. Of course, I offer my home bids listing. Or I'd say if you don't want to do anything and you just want to cash out, right? I can cash you out and you just do nothing. You don't have to pay all of the commissions, so you have savings there. And you could just get a cash offer to do nothing. Would you like to see what that cash offer looked like? And you'd be surprised at how many people would like to do nothing. So don't sell out of your own pocket. It should be one of the 3 things that you offer when you go to close your listing. And guess what? If you do go with Serge or somebody like Serge, you should get the listing. I don't know any investor that doesn't give you the listing if you found them the deal.
Yeah, if they're not offering you the listing, you should definitely have that be the negotiating part of it.
Yeah, I mean, if I were in this game, I would require the listing, but I would actually, I think Serge goes one step beyond that by giving you another deal, and that, why not try to talk to enough investors so you can get somebody that would work on those terms? I mean, obviously it's successful for him. Why not? Why couldn't it be successful for them?
The problem is because we do such a large volume, most investors don't have the reserve of listings to give away. That's the problem. Most investors you're going to be dealing with do 2 to 5 a year. we're pushing higher volumes.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. Sure.
Russell, what was the second thing you said in the listing? The traditional something and an investor for
Yeah,
cash out?
I have a platform I use. So I try to give people options when I go to close my listing. I don't give them the opportunity to say no, right? I give them the alternative sale. I say, would you like to sell traditionally? Would you like to use our USA Home Bids platform? Or are you interested in an all cash offer where you do nothing? Like, which of those is the most appealing to you? And
USA
then whatever they say, I go from there.
Okay, can you repeat that? That's a writer downer.
Yeah.
Sure. So when I everybody gets the same listing presentation from me, relatively the same, right? Where I talk about our marketing, I talk about our team, I talk about people, etc. I talk about how many deals we've closed, and what we're going to do from that for them in their property specifically, right? I establish myself as a local area expert. But then when it comes time to ask for the listing, I don't give them an opportunity to say no. I said, okay, now that you've seen everything, would you prefer to go with a traditional listing? Would you like to use our USA Home Bids platform? Or would you like to take an all cash offer and do nothing and not end up with paying any commissions? I give them all three options.
Or one I've heard is, or you can do nothing. And sometimes that kind of makes them feel like you're not pressuring them too much.
Yeah. Or you can do nothing. That's a good point. At all.
Yeah, because the beauty with cash investors is I have one right now that we're working on. They need money to move out. They're moving to Oregon. They have no money in their pocket. They need to buy an RV. And so what we're doing is we're going to cash advance them $100,000. So we're going to close. We're going to give them the 100 grand, and we're going to hold back some more proceeds until they move out. Because clearly I have to safeguard myself. I don't want to have a tenant situation. And so they have garbage, hoarders, things like that. I said, leave all of that. And that's a huge relief. I said, just take whatever's sentimental, whatever is valuable for you. Because I understand these people are not going to be able to clean anything out in the next 2 months. And it's a hassle for them. They don't have any money in their pocket. I literally actually had to go drop off $1,000 because we haven't ate in 4 days. And so that's where investors get to be flexible. You're not dealing with home inspections. You're not dealing with banks. You're not dealing with that. It's literally like, hey, what's the best way to make this? What's the best way to solve their problem? And most people's problem right now is they don't have money to move. Even if they wanted to, that are in a distressed situation. I'm talking about financially distressed. They don't have any money for rent. They don't have any money to advance a deposit, nothing like that. And I think an investor can if he's sophisticated enough, you can run it through. You can, sometimes I do my EMDs or pass through. So I'll put a $5,000-$10,000 EMD and I'll pass it through straight to the seller. So it's still on record that I did this EMD, but hey, I know they need an advance. So I'm not trying to do things outside of escrow because, that all can come and bite us in the butt. And so I just pass it through and I'm like, hey, here's 10 grand, what we agreed on. Here's what we're going with and things like that. So there's a lot of creative ways to solve people's problems. And the big objective is I need money to move. I need money to take my next step, whether it's, buy an RV, whether it's whatever it is to get it into a rental property. And I need I need a year advance for my rent because my credit's bad or I lost my job or something like that. That's what an investor can do. They can be creative in solving people's problems. They should be creative in solving people's problems.
Well, and money changes hands when problems get solved at all levels.
Yeah. Yes.
Awesome. Thank you so much today, Serge. What do we have left over this week, Don and Tom? Let's close it out.
So this next week, we've got one of the top agents in the country and coaches and talking about innovation. So stand by. We'll be posting out the information and we're excited. Thanks y'all for joining. Sergei, you're amazing. Now I'm super motivated to get back on the phones and get you some deals, man. I'm excited.
Let's do it.
Thanks, y'all. You got your inspiration.
We appreciate you.
Go ahead.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, guys. Have a good day. See ya.
Thank you.